Alright guys, welcome back to the channel. Welcome if you're new. Thank you for taking time out of your day to check the video out. We have more PlayStation news, rumors, and leaks to go over and cover today. And we are starting once again with GTA 6. We have a report here from Push Square. They say if you want to be prepared a whole year and 20 days ahead of time, you can now add GTA 6 to your PlayStation Store wish list. It has a concept page that allows you to wishlist the game in the absence of any pre-order details. Today saw Rockstar Games drop GTA 6 Trailer 2 along with a gigantic batch of official screenshots, all of which look outstanding. And so yeah, this is something that I don't think people were necessarily expecting to be available after the release of Trailer 2 for GTA 6, the ability to wishlist, but yeah, currently there are no pre-order details, so yeah, let me know if this is a game that you're adding to your wish list. But continuing to talk about GTA 6, we did cover this in a video that I released late yesterday, but it's worth covering again here. In a move that's probably going to give PS5 the last blast of momentum it needs to top 100 million units sold, Sony looks like it has the marketing rights to GTA 6. That shouldn't be a huge surprise given PlayStation's overwhelming popularity and historical allegiance with the Rockstar series. But it's noteworthy because this is going to be a big game for the console, and to be honest, for the games industry at large. While you may have missed it, the latest trailer concludes with a big, bold statement in white and black that says captured on PS5. That's significant for two reasons. Firstly, it's explicitly referring to the bog standard PS5 here, and not the $700 PS5 Pro. Considering the visual fidelity on screen, that's absolutely extraordinary. Secondly, it's a statement that suggests Sony is partnering with the game, which means you can probably expect PlayStation bumpers wrapped around every commercial for the release come launch next year. Now, something else that is worth noting and people were paying attention to is that later in the GTA 6 trailer number 2, they seem to show a game console and a controller, and the console looks very much like a PlayStation 5, and the controller looks very much like a DualShock 4. It's a small thing, but it's definitely something that people were noticing. And yeah, I think it's safe to say that we have our question answered. Does Sony have the marketing rights to GTA 6? Yeah, it seems pretty clear that they do. And, you know, this is a very big deal. It's a big deal that this game is only going to be launching on the PlayStation 5 consoles and the Xbox consoles. But the fact that Sony will have the marketing rights, I don't think people quite understand like how big of a deal that's going to be for the PS5 console in general and for Sony going into the final years of this generation. It's pretty huge. So let me know your thoughts on everything regarding GTA 6 and what we discussed here, but we're going to move on to the next topic, which talks about Death Stranding 2, and we actually have a development update directly from Hideo Kojima. But before we cover that, I do want to remind everybody that tomorrow we're going to be getting the first official previews for Death Stranding 2, where players got to actually go hands-on with the game for, I believe, a week or so. So they had a lot of time with this game, and yeah, this is a title I'm very interested to hear more about when it comes to people going hands-on with it. But Kojima gave an update, as I said, and this is being translated by Genki Japan. Hideo Kojima gave a development update on Death Stranding 2 via his, I think, podcast that he does. He says the game remains at 95% complete at the time of recording, which was mid-April, as a lot of minor bugs popped up, so they are still in the final bug fixing stage. But they have already submitted a first version of the game with initial bug checks, so it's almost already finished. Wants to make a game with no bugs, but as it is an open world game, having some minor bugs can't be helped. Minor bugs remaining are not game breaking, but things like floating grass or some odd areas. Kojima has been very busy. He hopes to have completed the game by the time this broadcast was released, which it released on May 5th, and will fix as many minor bugs as they can before launch. So a pretty transparent update from Kojima, and yeah, we know with these big open world games, one of the most difficult things to really nail down is squashing all of the bugs, because there's just so many and so many different things that can happen. But what's interesting to me is how he says he hopes to have it completed by the time that podcast episode released, which was on May 5th. So considering the game is not launching until June 26th, I have the utmost confidence that they're going to be able to get this thing nearly 100% by that time. So there you go. We're going to move on to the next topic, though, which talks about a leak regarding a Call of Duty Black Ops 6 PS5 bundle or multiple bundles. This is being reported by WCCF Tech. They say, according to reliable leaker Bill Kuhn on Dia Labs, PlayStation 5 console bundles with Call of Duty Black Ops 6 are due to be announced soon. Bill Kuhn doesn't list a specific release date, but speculates that they could be announced later in the month for PlayStation's upcoming Days of Play promotion. There's also no word of a PS5 Pro bundle coming, just the standard digital edition PS5 and the disc version as well. And it seems that, at least according to their estimates, this bundle for the digital version of Black Ops 6 is going to be priced at $400 US, with the disc model being priced at $450 US. Now, this is significant for a few reasons. The first being that I don't think anybody expected this to continue now that Microsoft owns Call of Duty. We know that Sony has a long history of partnering with Activision for Call of Duty and doing these bundles, but once Microsoft gained ownership of Activision, the natural assumption, understandably, is that that's not going to happen anymore. But now that Microsoft has officially gone fully third party, it seems like they are okay with doing stuff like this or continuing to do stuff like this. So there is that. The other thing that's very interesting is the assumed pricing. Now, it's not confirmed, but I will say it's going to be pretty telling if a new PS5 bundle is announced to be $400 digitally and $450 for the disc model, because we are looking at the prices of everything pretty much going up, and many of us are absolutely anticipating that Sony is next in line to announce price increases for, their hardware as well as their games. But if they come out and they're like, no, we're still going to be selling you a PS5 bundle with a game for $400, that's a pretty big deal, I think. Will it stay that way? If that is what they announce, we'll have to find out. But still, really interesting stuff here. Just wanted to be sure to report this to you guys. On to the next topic, though, we have a pretty significant update regarding Destiny 2. Once again, being reported by WCCF Tech, Bungie hosted a showcase for Destiny 2's next expansion, Edge of Fate, which will launch July 15th, 2025. The showcase focused mostly on Edge of Fate, but also announced that the next major expansion to the game, the Star Wars-inspired Renegades, will arrive on December 2nd, 2025, and that there will be another 2 expansions coming in 2026 called Shattered Cycle and The Alchemist. There was a lot discussed over the course of the panel, with some major changes coming to Destiny 2 with the Edge of Fate. A key one that players will appreciate is that Bungie will no longer charge for seasonal content, meaning that when you buy the latest expansion for Destiny 2, you won't have to fork out more when the season kicks off in order to get every bit of narrative content. Edge of Fate will kick off what Bungie calls the Fate Saga, which will unfold over several years, according to Bungie, with new and old characters at the core of the story, like fan favorite Ikora. It'll center around a group called the Nine, described as celestial bodies that have been around longer than the Traveler, and represented in each of the planets and the sun. Edge of Fate will take players to the edge of the Sol Galaxy, to the planetoid called Kepler, where players will find new dark matter abilities to take advantage of. Bungie is also introducing what it calls a Metroidvania style of play, with abilities like Matter Spark, which allows you to transform into a rolling ball of electricity and resembles the ball that Samus herself rolls into when she's cutting through tight spaces. We also got to see some of the environmental puzzle gameplay that'll take advantage of Matter Spark and Matter Morph, an ability that lets you manipulate the environments around you. As a narrative prologue to the Edge of Fate in July, 3 dungeons called Explorer, Eternity, and Ultimatum have been made available today for free for all Destiny 2 players to check out and get their first glimpse at the larger story that'll kick off in the Edge of Fate. It's clear from the showcase that Bungie is doing what it can to continue evolving Destiny 2, specifically regarding its reputation of being too obtuse and difficult to get into if you haven't already been playing for 1,000 hours. Play your way and player agency were phrases that came up consistently throughout the showcase and are a driving force behind changes like removing paywalls to seasonal content, gear changes, and the permanent addition of the shooting range. Ending the presentation was our first look at the December 2025 expansion Renegades, which Bungie confirmed is directly inspired by Star Wars and will feature lightsabers. It was described as taking the space western vibe of Star Wars and putting it through a Destiny lens, which, at least by the look of the teaser trailer, feels like an apt description. So we know Bungie is doing everything they can to try to make Marathon a success and a hit game. As of right now, it remains to be seen if that's going to happen, but one thing that does seem clear is that they are definitely committed to Destiny 2, and last we heard, there is currently no Destiny 3 in development, so it does seem like their path forward, and Sony, I would assume, is in agreement with this, is just to continue to support Destiny and do what they can and continue to evolve it and maintain that player base, and I guess still try to bring new players in. So for any Destiny players here, let me know your thoughts on these updates, and if you're not a Destiny player, let me know if this is, doing anything for you and maybe convincing you to go try it out. That's going to do it for the video though, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you found it informative. If you did, be sure to leave it a like, subscribe to the channel if you're new, hit the bell notification icon, and feel free to share this video out on top of all that. But until next time, guys, take care.